You know that we knock 'em down. Yeah, we know we knock 'em down. You know we knock 'em down. 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 Knock 'em down.
Yeah.
Knock 'em down.
Yeah.
Knock 'em down.
Yeah.
Knock 'em down. Oh yeah, you know that we knock 'em down.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk. Today I'm here with middleweight contender Caleb Truax. How you doing today, champ?
I'm good, man. Just relaxing. It's a nice Sunday here in Minnesota, like 75 degrees finally. So got a good run in, got a little massage, and now I'm chilling for the rest of the day.
And that's definitely good to hear. How has training camp been going so far, and who have you been sparring with in preparation for this fight?
It's been going great, man. I've had no bumps or bruises, knock on wood, no injuries. Everything is coming along. My weight's coming along real good. I've been boxing. It's been a little bit longer training camp than normal because I knew about the fight for a while. So at the start of training camp, I had to kind of take it easy to make sure I didn't get burned out too quick or anything like that. But no, I've been getting some good sparring. I was sparring with some local guys here, Robert Brandt and Jamal James, who are both undefeated prospects. Sparred with a guy from my gym, Nate Richardson, who gives me some good work. And for the last 4 weeks, I believe I've been sparring with Dafier Smith out of Philly, who was a real good sparring partner, a real cagey veteran who kind of fights similarly to Jacob. So that's been some good work. And also Carson Jones from Oklahoma. He came up a couple weeks ago, and I've been getting some good work in with him for the last few weeks.
Definitely good to hear. Going into this fight, is there any added pressure knowing that this will be for the WBA middleweight title, or are you treating this like any other fight?
I don't know if I call it pressure, but I'm definitely conscious of the fact that it is a title fight. It's the biggest fight of my career on the biggest stage I've ever been on. So I wouldn't call it pressure, but I can't say I'm treating it like any other fight because it's a bigger fight. You know what I mean? So that's in my mind, and I'm definitely preparing a little bit better. Like I said, it took a little bit longer of a training camp. I'm doing things a little bit differently as far as preparing for 12 rounds instead of 10 like I normally go. So yeah, it's just something that I have to be prepared for to be ready for Jacobs at his best, and he's a champion. So that's what I got to be ready for.
Definitely understand that. Without giving away any of your game plan, in watching film of Danny Jacobs, what weaknesses and strengths have you noticed, or what weaknesses have you noticed that you plan on exploiting?
You know, I don't know if he doesn't have too many weaknesses. He's a world class middleweight. I mean, he's like 28-1. He did get knocked out that one time, so that's something I definitely want to try to do early is test his chin and get some hard punches landed on him quick to kind of bring him back to that fight with Truax. But he's real athletic. He's got some speed. He's got some power. He's got a good jab. So those are all things I have to be ready for when I get in the ring with him. What he doesn't have is a lot of experience going 10 rounds. So I think even though he has more amateur fights and more professional fights than me, I believe I'm the one that has more experience because he's fought a lot of guys that weren't that great, and he knocked them out in the first round in a lot of his fights. So I think he's only been 10 rounds one time, whereas I've been 10 rounds, I think probably like 10 or 12 times or something like that. So I got the rounds in the bank. So.
Okay. Speaking of his power, he's known primarily for being a power puncher. How do you plan on offsetting that aspect of his game?
I just got to be smart and keep my defense tight and not get hit with anything stupid. I mean, he he does have a lot of knockouts, but at the same time, the guys that he's been fighting, he wasn't knocking out any world class fighters or anything like that. So we'll see. I won't know until I get in the ring with him how much power he's got, but I'll be ready for whatever he's got to offer.
Okay. What do you think would be your biggest advantage heading into your fight with Jacobs?
I think, like I said, the fact that I've been deeper into the rounds than he has on many more occasions, I think that's going to be a plus for me. I had my first 10-round fight. I think it was my 13th fight, and I've had a bunch since then. And I think ever since he came back from cancer, I think he's the deepest he went to a fight is I think the 5th or 6th round. So he hasn't had too much rounds underneath his belt since he got back from cancer.
Okay. How do you feel about not only fighting on a PBC fight card, but the whole PBC series overall?
It's great, man. It's a blessing for me to be able to be a part of it. I know Al Heyman's trying to take boxing to the next level as far as viewership and just creating new fans going. And the fights last night were pretty exciting, and it sounds like they got some good viewership numbers. So it's just introducing boxing back to people that normally wouldn't have access to it, and hopefully it'll bring in more fans and more revenue, and be better for all the fighters, all the promoters, everybody.
Speaking of last night's fight, a fight that potentially could, that probably had your interest, even though you focused on Danny Jacobs, was the WBO, supposedly WBO middleweight title fight between Andy Lee and Peter Quillen. What did you think of that fight and both guys' performances?
Obviously, those are two guys that I've been sizing up. I size up any middleweight or any guy that I could potentially be in the ring with down the road. So I was watching pretty closely, but I thought it was pretty exciting. There was times where it was exciting, a couple knockdowns, and they had some good flurries. But for the most part, both guys were pretty tentative, and they didn't really throw many punches. And I don't know, it didn't do too much for me as far as excitement goes. But it was a decent fight.
Okay. Speaking on the rest of the middleweight division, you have the names of Gennady Golovkin, Miguel Cotto, Daniel Gill, also yourself and Jacobs. What are your thoughts on Gennady Golovkin as a fighter? Because he's been receiving a lot of praise, rightfully so. He has been pretty dominant up to this point in his career. What are your thoughts on him as a fighter? And is that somebody you would like to face down the line? And do you think Willie Monroe has a chance at defeating him?
From what I've seen so far, I've seen probably 4 or 5 of his fights, and he looks like a beast, man. Everybody keeps on saying that he's fighting guys that aren't that great, and not fighting the best in the world. But it seems like the super fights haven't been available for him to get. So he's just fighting whoever's in front of him, and he's doing a good job of getting rid of them quickly and doing it in impressive fashion. So he's impressive, man. It's a guy that I'd love to get in the ring with down the line, and I'll have to be at top of my game to do so. But I'm worried about Jacobs right now. As far as Willie Monroe goes, he's a slick boxer, and it's kind of I'm not sure if he'll have enough firepower to hold Triple G off him, but it's definitely like a contrast of style. So it should be an interesting matchup. If Monroe can box and stay away, then I think he's got a good chance to give Triple G some problems. But if he can't keep him off him and can't keep his distance, then I think he's gonna end up like the rest of his opponents.
All right, I got 3 more questions for you. My next question is: are you a promotional free agent? And are you managed by Al Heyman?
No, I'm not. My promoters are Seconds Out Promotions, a local promoter here in Minnesota, and Warriors Boxing.
Okay.
And Al Heyman, my manager, is Ron Like, a guy that I've been with since I first turned pro, and I signed with Al Heyman as an advisor.
Okay. So there it is. Okay, my next question is: who has been the toughest opponent you fought so far in your career, and why?
I think my toughest fight was when I fought. It was my first 10-round fight. I think I was 13 or 14-0. And I fought Kerry Hope from Wales, I believe. Yeah, from Wales or Great Britain. But it was my first 10-round fight, and he was in real good shape and pushed me real hard. I wouldn't say he's the best fighter I've ever fought, but just the conditioning that he was in and the way he pushed me, and that being my first 10-round fight, it was probably the toughest. And he actually went on to win the European middleweight title a few fights later. So he's a good fighter, and he pushed me to the limit.
Okay, I know you fought Jermaine Taylor as well in a fight that people could argue that you won. What are your thoughts on that fight? And I know you obviously felt you probably won the fight, but what are your thoughts on looking back at that fight?
Actually, I didn't. I don't feel I won that fight, man. Obviously I knocked him down in the 9th round and almost knocked him out, but that was my first fight on TV. That was my first fight against like a name opponent, and I gave him way too much respect in the first half of the fight and got behind on the scorecards. And it wasn't like he was hurting me. He wasn't really hitting me with anything. I just was being way too tentative and not throwing enough punches, and he was building the lead with his jab and scoring points. And so he won the early rounds, and then by the time I knocked him down, it was too late for me to come back and win a decision because he got up and obviously I didn't knock him out.
I like that honesty from you. My last question before I let you get out of here. If you could face any middleweight in the history of boxing, who would it be and why?
My favorite fighter of all time is Felix Trinidad. And he wasn't really he was more of a welterweight when he was in his prime, but he fought a middleweight a few times, so it'd have to be him.
Okay, that's an interesting choice. Well, I want to thank you for granting me the opportunity to interview you. Like I said, I know you're deep in the training camp, and we here at Colossal Boxing Talk wish you nothing but the best in your upcoming fight with Danny Jacobs, as well as with the rest of your career. And like I said again, thank you, and have a good rest of the training camp. And I look forward to potentially talking to you after your fight, and look forward to seeing you and Jacobs April 24th, on Spike TV.
For sure, man. I appreciate the time, and thanks to Colossal Boxing for the love. And everybody can follow me on Twitter at Golden Caleb T. So check me out. I love interacting with my fans on there.
All right, hey, you take it easy, and talk to you a little later on.
All right, man.
And there you have it, YouTube. I just wrapped up my interview with middleweight contender Caleb Truax, who will be fighting April 24th against Danny Jacobs for the WBA middleweight title on Spike TV, Premier Boxing Champions Series. And like I said, he gave me some good answers. He's a very good fighter, and I look forward to seeing his fight come April 24th. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get back to you at my early convenience. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.